folks. Now, after sharing my backstory in the previous video, I'd like to share a little bit about some of the lessons I learned in hospice palliative care and some of the stuff I learned from people who are imminently dying. So one quick story. So this woman, growing up, had received a great deal of support from an uncle of hers. So basically they helped raise her, and up until she became a teenager, they were a big part of her life, and she was a big part of their life. So I got to know this woman early on when I first started out in hospice care. And one of the things we were discussing was that if you could change one thing or do one thing before you die, or rectify one concern, or what would it be? And she told me there's this uncle that she hasn't seen in 30 or 40 years that was a really big part of her life growing up, and she truly loved him through all that. And then when she became a teenager, she got into some trouble and became distant with this uncle. So this was one of her dying wishes, was to reach out to this uncle and tell him how much he made a difference in her life and how it impacted her in those days. So went home that night, thought about what she had said to me, went back into hospice the next morning and was sitting at the kitchen table having coffee with her, and I pulled out the phone book. And I asked her, I said, how hard can it be to find him? Do you really want to find him? So she said, yeah, I do. I do want to find him. So we pulled out the phone book, and sure enough, there he is in the phone book. Maybe half an hour away from where we were. At the most. So she didn't want to call him. And I found it odd, because that was her dying wish, was to thank this gentleman and tell him how much she loved him and how much he made a difference in her life. But she found it extremely difficult to pick up the phone and call him after all those years. And at the time, I don't think I understood why it was so difficult for her, because she was going to die probably within the next week or so. And she wasn't in a hurry to do this. She was nervous, she was scared, she didn't know what to say. She was afraid he didn't want to talk to her because she got into some trouble as a teen or whatever. So the lesson there for me was that it's difficult to reach out and tell someone you're sorry, or tell someone they made a difference in your life, or tell someone you love them. And after battling cancer, as hard as it's going to be, there's a couple people that made some big differences in my life. And I don't want to wait till I'm on my deathbed to tell them. I'm going to find some strength somewhere and cast out the fear, or find some strategies on how to do it. But I'm going to reach out to those people, and I want to encourage you all to do the same thing. Reach out. Don't wait till you're dying. Reach out and tell someone they made a difference in your life. Is it because I faced cancer that I'm just coming to these realizations? I don't know. I came to those realizations when I worked in hospice care, but I just think it has more of an impact on me now. So if I can give any insight, and I'm sure some of you are going to say, oh my God, I can't do that. It's so hard. Yes, I'm sure it's going to be hard. But I don't want to be on my deathbed with only a week or two or a month to live and trying to figure out all those people that I should have thanked or should have told I'm sorry. So I needed to share this with you because it was on my mind this morning after talking about hospice care yesterday. I have a few more hospice stories I'd like to share with you. because death and dying becomes real after you face the cancer journey. It becomes real. We're not infallible. We've made mistakes in our life. And it's okay to review those mistakes. It's okay to come to terms with them, find peace with them, instead of just pushing them down and pushing them down and pushing them down and hope they go away. Even if you humble yourself just to yourself, like, yeah, I was a jerk. I shouldn't have done that. And for me, pray for forgiveness. And be done with it. Don't carry it with you to your deathbed. Don't do it. Because on your deathbed, we want to spend time with our family, and we want to enjoy family day, and we want to do all those things on our bucket list, and we don't want to spend our time making amends. So, hope this insight can help someone. See you again.